Welcome everyone to session number 314 of Kevin Reed's A Course in Miracles. We are in the Workbook for Students, Part 2, the second part of the workbook, in which there are approximately 14 questions. And we are looking at question number 5. What is the body? Okay. The body is a fence the Son of God imagines he has built to separate parts of his self from other parts. It is within this fence he thinks he lives, to die as it decays and crumbles. For within this fence, he thinks that he is safe from love. Identifying with his safety, he regards himself as what his safety is. How else could he be certain he remains within the body, keeping love outside? The body will not stay, yet this he sees as double safety, for the Son of God's impermanence is proof his fences work. And do the task his mind assigns to them. For if his oneness still remained untouched, who could attack? Who could be attacked? Who could be victor? Who could be his prey? Who could be victim? Who the murderer? And if he did not die, what proof is there that God's eternal Son can be destroyed? The body is a dream. Like other dreams, it seems to picture happiness, but can quite suddenly revert to fear, where every dream is born. For only love creates in truth, and truth can never fear. Made to be fearful, must the body serve the purpose given it. But we can change the purpose the body will obey by changing what we think the body is for. The body is the means by which God's Son returns to sanity. Though it was made to fence him into hell without escape, yet has the goal of heaven been exchanged for the pursuit of hell. The Son of God extends his hand to reach his brother and to help him walk along the road with him. Now is the body holy. Now it serves to heal the mind that it was made to kill. You will identify with what you think will make you safe. Whatever it may be to you, you will believe that it is one with you. Your safety lies in truth and not in lies. Love is your safety. Fear does not exist. Identify with love, and you are safe. Identify with love, and you are home. Identify with love, and find yourself. Okay. So, paragraph 1, the body is a fence the Son of God imagines, right? Imagines he built to separate parts of his self from other parts. And the self here is capitalized, so it's your true self. All right? So we have made up this body, right, in order to prove that we're separate, and we're also separate from every other aspect of our true self, which is other people, other bodies, right, other things in form, all aspects of the oneness, of the one self. But I imagine I built this to separate parts of myself from other parts. Keep me separate from you. And it is within this fence he thinks he lives. So, now remember, he's using these words like, I imagine I did this, and now I think I live here. All right? Which is all part of the metaphysics, reminding you that this is a dream, an illusion. All right? So, it's within this fence he thinks he lives, to die as it decays and crumbles. For within this fence, he thinks that he is safe from love. Okay? In the beginning, all right, like with the Course in Miracles myth, origin myth, that I turned my back on the oneness. I decided I don't want to be part of the oneness. I wanted to be an individual. Right? And I asked God, I want to be an individual. There was no response. So I got angry and I did it myself. I said I could do it myself. Right? So all of a sudden I had to escape, and he'll get to that point where he says, this is the result of fear. Because I immediately felt guilty. I thought I destroyed the oneness, and now I figured the Creator is going to be really annoyed at me, going to be enraged. So I need to get out of the mind, project out of the mind into the universe, the world of form, and I make up a body. Right? As if God can't see me if I make up this body, right? And it won't get me. And even if he comes and gets me, I'm going to say, hey, whoa, it wasn't me. It was him, projecting the guilt. Okay? For within this fence, he thinks he is safe from love. The idea that love will destroy me. I have to protect myself from love. That's the nutty, insane message that this ego gives us. Now, the ego is not a separate entity or anything. It's just the thought of separation, and it creates this incredible set of values and ideas and beliefs. This incredible thought system, right? But it's not a separate entity. It's who I think I am as an individual. Right? And I think I'm protecting myself. And that's the whole idea with the reluctance to come into the mind, all right, to the memory of who you are. All right? There's a reluctance to do that, a resistance, because of that ego message that says love is out to get you. Because you destroyed it. You destroyed the oneness. All right, now the Creator of oneness is looking to get you. He's going to sneak up behind you. Okay. So identifying with his safety, I identify with my body. All right? And so I regard myself as what my safety is. I think this is my safety, so I regard myself as this body. I am Kevin. All right? So how else can I be certain that I remain within the body, keeping love outside? So I have to insist. I identify with this. All right? How else could he be certain he remains within the body, keeping love outside? Right? then he reminds us the body will not stay. All right? It decays and crumbles. Right? Yet this he sees as double safety. Yeah, this is really cool. My body is going to decay and die because the Son of God's impermanence is proof that his fences work. Right? Because I'm impermanent, I don't last forever. It's proof that I'm separated from the oneness. For the Son of God's impermanence is proof that his fences work, and they do the task that my mind assigns to them. Right? They do the task. Right? It's proof that it keeps me separate, keeps me as an individual. Right? That's the task, the first thing that the body is assigned to do. The next thing it does, it employs the senses to bring back all the dirt on everybody else, show me how guilty they are and show me what a terrible world this is and it's not my fault and all that. All right. So the body does the things I tell it to do. For if his oneness still remained untouched, who could attack? So I believe I destroyed the oneness, because if my oneness wasn't destroyed, right, who could attack me? There's no need for defense. Right? And who could be attacked? No, nothing, no one. Who could be a victor? Who could conquer anybody? Not in the oneness. There's not even concepts of that. Right? There's no concept of victim and victimizer. Right? And in the oneness, if he did not die, what proof is there that God's eternal Son can be destroyed? So I'm saying, well, look, it's a proof that I could destroy the oneness. Look, this can die. God's Son can decay and die. Isn't that proof that there is no oneness? All right. So this is all what we're using the body for, to prove that we are separate from the oneness. The oneness has been destroyed. From which comes the thought, immediately on that idea comes the thought of guilt. And immediately on the thought of guilt comes fear, which is why we need to project into the world of form and onto every other form that we say. We have to project our guilt. Paragraph 3, the body is a dream. Like other dreams, it sometimes seems to picture happiness. Oh, what a great time we had. What great plans I have for the future. Right? But this dream can quite suddenly revert to fear, right? Where every dream is born. So, you've heard countless stories, whether in your real life or in social media, on TV and movies, and where, everybody's walking down the street. It's just a great time, right? And, next thing you know, somebody jumps out in front of you and says, hands up, baby. Right? Hands up, give me all your money. Or you trip and fall and break your wrist. Or, 1 bazillion things can go wrong as you're tooling along happily in your dream. All right? I was just talking to one of the maintenance men in the building yesterday. And I said, how's it going? How's it going? He's going, oh, you know, every day something new. You know? And I was reminded of the story. They asked the famous guru, what is life? And he said, life? Life is one damn thing after another. So that's what happens in a happy dream. Well, not the happy dream as the Course would say, but as we're skipping along merrily here, life happens, one damn thing after another. And sometimes these one damn things pile up in succession until you get to the point where you get overwhelmed. All right? And that's the way life goes here, life in quotes, here in the world, in the dream, in the illusion. All right? On the outside, so to speak, the outside of the mind, the right mind. So like other dreams, it seems to picture happiness. All right? So the body is a dream. And just like every other dream, it seems to picture happiness. All right? But all of a sudden, something could happen to the body. Right? But it can quite suddenly revert to fear. And this is the parenthetical phrase here. He talks about fear, where every dream is born. Right? The original fear. I believe I separated from God. Automatically, I'm guilty and fearful. And because I'm afraid I'm going to get destroyed if I remain in the mind, I make believe that I project out into a world of form. And I make believe I have this body, right? And as the early Simon and Garfunkel would say, and I believe I have my books and my poetry to protect me, right? I am a rock. I am an island, right? Memories of my teenage years are popping up. But that's the whole thing. The body is a dream, and we think, we think it's the source of safety, but it ain't. All right. So it can quite suddenly revert to fear, where every dream is born, because I was afraid that God was going to get me. I projected out into this greater dream, with many, many gazillions of facets. All right. For only love creates in truth, and truth can never fear. Right. So it behooves us to practice coming inside. Right. And remember, the Course of Miracles even tells you this is not the only way home. Right? It's one of thousands of ways, Jesus says. So, whatever feels good to you, right? Whatever shoe fits, as they say. Right? Use that practice to come inside. And experience the great expanse that you really are, that you are a part of. Right? And each time you visit, right, fear is gone. And when you come back to the world of form, little by little, you have chipped away at the idea of fear, because you're chipping away at the idea of individuality. You're getting closer to the memory of what you are. Right? And the reason I'm saying that, we're talking about legitimate paths to coming in. Recently, I just was listening to the movie maker David Lynch, because he just passed away. Right, this is January 2025, and he would, as he got older, he would constantly talk about the inner landscape, right, and meetings with the Maharishi, Mahesh Yogi, right? The one that the Beatles went to visit. Okay. All right. But that coming inside, Eckhart Tolle will give you different ways to experience the great expanse, the oneness. It's just once you pick a path, use that path. You don't want to, it's not good to mix and match. Just stick with something that feels good for you. All right? So, for only love creates in truth, and truth can never fear. Right? Once again, what the sages said in the East, we're all climbing. Anyone who's a seeker is climbing the mountain, using different paths. And when you get to the top, the view is the same. The expanse, the oneness, right? The present moment, right? Which is all that is. So, truth can never fear. Right? Made to be fearful, must the body serve the purpose given it. Right? So it was made to be fearful. Right? I gotta watch out. I gotta protect myself. Right? And the body is fearful in myriad ways. Myriad ways. So, made to be fearful, the body serve the purpose given it. So, one of the body's purposes is to prove that fear is real because you're separated from love. But then Jesus says in paragraph 3, sentence 5, but we can change the purpose that the body will obey by changing what we think that it is for. One of the main messages of the Course. Right? We use what we think is in form to bring us back home. We can change the purpose of the body. So instead of it being an instrument to prove separation and to be a protection against love, because love is going to destroy me, all right? We could change the purpose by changing what we think the body is for. All right? So, up to this point, I think that the body is for proving separation. Or, even if I don't get that deep, my body is, whatever you want to think, is to prove I'm here, see me, hear me. Right? But we can change it by changing what we think the body is for. The body is the means by which God's Son returns to sanity. Though it was made to fence him into hell without escape, yet has the goal of heaven been exchanged for the pursuit of hell. And I I dedicate myself to allowing the truth to arise in my awareness. Right? And I dedicate myself every day to that. And during those days when I feel myself straying from the path, I say, oh, let me get back on the path. And I rededicate myself to the awareness of truth, right? The awareness of innocence and oneness. Right? So I change the goal of the body, right? Because my body is still moving around, interacting with other bodies and other things and everything. All right? So I think. So as I'm thinking that, I can dedicate all these actions to allowing the truth to arise in my awareness, to remembering, as Plato would say. We just remember. It's like you don't go to school to learn, you go to school to remember. To remember who you are eventually. Okay. So, the body is the means by which God's Son returns to sanity. Though it was made to fence him into hell without escape, yet has the goal of heaven been exchanged for the pursuit of hell. Right? So that goal of heaven is that willingness to have truth arise in my awareness and everything that is the truth. The Son of God extends his hand to each brother and to help him walk along the road with him. Now is the body holy. Now it serves to heal the mind that it was made to kill. Okay. As I continue to dedicate myself to, well, I'm willing to see the truth, let's put it that way. I'm willing to have every facet of truth rise up in my awareness, which includes the innocence, right? Stop projecting the guilt. Right? And in that way, I begin to allow the truth, the love to come through me, to extend. In that way, I'm reaching out to my brother, to the others. Right? That in that way, when I say help me to see things correctly, right? And which includes help me to see that I'm projecting guilt. I don't want to do that anymore. Right? Help me to see correctly. When I'm willing to do that, I'm reaching out my hand to others. Let's go home together, as Ram Dass would say, or at least the t-shirts they sell say that. We're all just walking each other home. So the Son of God extends his hand to each to reach his brother and to help him walk along the road with him. Now is the body holy. Now it serves to heal the mind that it was made to kill. Right? In my willingness to see correctly, my willingness to become aware of the truth about everyone and everything, right? The mind is being healed, right? Instead of being an instrument of destruction. And he says, you will identify with what you think will make you safe. Right? Whatever it may be, you will believe that it is one with you. Right? So if I believe my body is the key to my safety, I'm going to do everything to protect myself. But if I realize that going to my right mind, going to the Holy Spirit, going to that great expanse within and being willing to discover who I really am, that's where the true safety is. And you'll realize it more and more as you practice. All right? So whatever it may be, you will believe that it is one with you. Then he says, your safety lies in truth, not in lies. So your safety lies in the truth that you never separated from the oneness, the atonement principle. He says your safety doesn't rest in lies. Your safety lies in truth, not in lies. So my safety does not lie in the fact that I believe I separated from God. That's the lie. Love is your safety. And as you practice it more and more, coming to the right mind, being willing to have your perceptions corrected, more and more that idea of safety, that calmness, the tranquility, right, the decrease in anxiety, right, all those things will come to pass. And you'll feel safer and safer. Love is your safety. Fear does not exist. Identify with love and you are safe. Identify with love and you are home. Identify with love and find yourself. Identify with love and find your true self. As he says in another part of the book, teach only love, for that is what you are. Identify with love. Come into that great inner expanse in the mind. Just be willing to allow the truth to rise up in your mind. That's identifying with love. Right? And you identify with love in myriad ways. Just dedicating yourself to the truth. Right? And in my experience, there are times when we have to rededicate ourselves. But each time you do that, you come closer and closer. All right? Because love is safety. Right? Nothing real can be threatened. Okay? Love, which is what you are, is the only real thing. Right? Nothing real can be threatened. Fear does not exist. Right? Nothing unreal exists. Right? Identify with love and you are safe. Identify with love and you are home. Identify with love and find yourself. Your true self. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. And I'll see you in the next question.